All right. So, to start off, I'm going to be reading out of Matthew 14, where Jesus had just finished feeding the 5,000. He sent out his disciples ahead of him across the water on a boat while he stayed to dismiss the crowd. The disciples encountered a terrible storm throughout the night. It lasted all the way into the morning, to when Jesus started walking out onto the water towards them. When the disciples saw him, they thought he was a ghost and became frightened. Jesus immediately called out to them, "Take courage, it is I. Do not be afraid." Then Peter replied, "Lord, if it is you, tell me to come out onto the water." Jesus called him out. Peter got out of the boat and defied all natural law and walked on the water towards Jesus. We don't know how far Peter walked out, but he walked on that water. We don't know how far he got when he finally started to feel the wind and became afraid. And then he started to sink. The moment Peter started to sink, Jesus reached out immediately and grabbed him. And he said, "You of little faith, why do you doubt?" And then he took Peter and got back into the boat, and the wind died down. So when I was reading through this, I got the thought, if Peter, defying natural law, was walking on water and was little faith, what is big faith? What is great faith? Within the Bible, there is an example given of great faith, and it is one of the few times Jesus verbally has said that he is amazed. It can be found in Matthew 8, verse 5 to 10. When Jesus had entered Capernaum, a centurion, who was a military official, came to him, asking him for help. "Lord," he said, "my servant lies at home paralyzed, suffering terribly." Jesus said to him, "Shall I come and heal him?" The response from the centurion is different than many others in the Bible. Other people would exclaim loudly and invite Jesus to enter their home, whereas the centurion says, "Lord, I do not deserve to have you come under my roof, but just say the word, and my servant will be healed. For I myself am a man serving under authority with soldiers under me. If I tell one to go, he will go. If I tell one to come, he will come. If I tell my servant to do this, he will do this." And Jesus turned to those who were with him and said, "Truly I tell you, I have not found anyone in Israel with such great faith." So Peter called out to Jesus, asking him to prove he is Lord and tell him to come, but doubted he was the Lord, that he was Jesus when he called him over. While the centurion searched for the Lord, but when he found the Lord, he told the Lord he can stay, for he knew that Jesus would do it. Peter asked Jesus to prove he is Lord out of being in a mindset of fear. That is little faith. You can seek the Lord when you are in need. That is good. Every believer is called to seek the Lord, but it is a mindset and how you seek him that matters. Because sometimes the greatest faith isn't to seek the Lord because you know he is the one with the highest authority, and he has command over every situation. We are all in the storm like Peter. But if we stay grateful, stay in a mindset of compassion and praise, stay encouraged, now that is great faith. Jesus knows that if you can come out to the water if you want, and Jesus will immediately catch you if you start to doubt. Even Peter doubted. But great faith is staying in the boat because you know the Lord is behind you and will shelter you through the storm. Because when he comes into your boat, the storm and the winds will die down. Now I want to clarify that little faith doesn't mean you believe in Jesus little. What I'm talking about is the quality of your faith. Peter had a lot of faith in Jesus, enough to believe that he could walk on water if the Lord told him to do so. But the centurion's faith shows what it's like to be truly under the authority of God. All right. So now we're going to turn to a video where we have some worship courtesy of Liam.